Mhm.
All right, Mr. Putnam, you can start the meeting.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. And appreciate everybody being here today. Before we get started, I wanted to thank Eric for the nice arrangement that the Board of Supervisors sent when my brother passed. I really appreciated that. And okay, first order of business is the approval of minutes. Were there any corrections or additions? Okay, do we have a motion?
I motion.
Okay.
Second.
Who said
Okay.
second?
Second, Ben, seconded by Ben.
Okay.
Okay, all right. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Let's see. Now we're time for reports. The treasurer's report from Ben. Ben, you're muted.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Brian, is it possible you put that report I sent out last night, please, or Saturday night? If not,
Which one do you want?
I want the IDA first, I guess. The one that's active. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Great. Thank you. It's a little hard to see on this end, but that's okay. I'm going to basically start at line number 70, 71, I think. Yeah, line 71. And that basically ends at the end of November. Thank you, Brian. Yes, sir. Thank you. Ends end of November, and then we roll into December. And those from December 2nd up until current date are the activities that have occurred in the last 35, 36 days or so. Fairly active. A couple of things I'd like to point out, though. There are some wire transfers there, and the wire transfer fees are $30 for each of the wire transfer fees. And those wire transfers fees were necessary for the CVSI transfers. So I want to go down to, and of course, you can see the refunds and such, but I want to go down to the one from Nelson County, which is line 75. That's actually the second payment to Nelson County / Mr. Bowling. The payments to Mr. Bowling, or the one payment to Mr. Bowling, was done by way of check. So that was that's money received. What you're looking at now is money received for those payments. If you go down to line 78, if you can, Brian, please, 78. Yeah, this is the second payment to Nelson County. This payment is the second payment to Nelson County.
Nelson Cable.
Nelson Cable. Thanks for the correction. Yes, Nelson Cable. Thanks for the correction. Nelson Cable. And the thing I want to point out here is that these payments over to Nelson Cable are done by way of interbank transfers. And that's a good thing for us because those interbank transfers come with no fees.
Ah, great.
In other words, they bank with Atlantic Union Bank. So they're customers as well. So the point here, though, that there's no fees. And then the other transactions that you can see, the only other thing I want to bring to your attention on the report, the $1,520 on line 77, that check was written sometime about a week and a half ago, but it has not made it to the bank yet. But the actual amount of money in the account is line row 79. If you go to line 79, that's the actual amount, $40,750.26. Now I do want to take a second, Mr. Chairman, just to make sure I'm complying with your guidance and the guidance of the board or the authority. Line 80 is the funds sort of that we receive from the grant money. And the intent with this line is to try to show that in a separate sort of field, if you will. So what I did was the money is still in this account, but the counting and tracking of that $10,000 will be done in a separate spreadsheet. So if there are no questions on this, Brian, if I could ask you just hold it open and then open up the other one, I'd appreciate it, sir.
Yep.
And the other one is the CACF funds.
So Ben, this is Rudy.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Rudy.
I have a question. So are you going to do an accounting twice then? You'll do it in the master sheet and then you do it on the sub sheet as well?
The answer to that question is yes.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yes, yeah. It took a second to come to that, but the short answer is yes. So if there are no other questions on that, then I will be reporting this spreadsheet and the one that Brian is about to pull out, and that's the CACF spreadsheet, please. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. So that money was transferred out of the IDA account, and I should say spreadsheet into this spreadsheet, and this is the new spreadsheet for the fund, the grant money. And as of right now, to my knowledge, there have been no checks written or no debits against this account. So the funds out of this account will be tracked on this spreadsheet. And as we come down to $0 or $5 or $10 or whatever it is, then any sort of small nominal value will be transferred back to the other spreadsheet and just continue on.
Okay. Is that confusing for anybody? Okay, because I just wanted this in a separate slot so we knew what went where.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so if no questions on those two spreadsheets, and if I could just ask you, Brian, to show the third one for just to complete the report, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. And this is the Opportunity Fund. There have been no activities on this fund for some time, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And the final comment that I have, just no activities on this one. The final comment that I have is that we received, we being the EDA, received the final payment for the Nelson Cable Company today. And I have check in hand, and that amount is for $11,500, and that's the final payment to the Nelson Cable Company.
And I'll recap that in my report.
Okay, good. And that'll with that, that's gonna conclude my report. It's subject to your questions. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions for Ben?
Ben, online on the first spreadsheet, line 66.
Yes, ma'am.
My last name is Johnson Morgan. I'm Morgan Johnson.
Oh, well, did I mess that up? No,
That's all right.
No, that's fine. Which line was that?
66.
66. Oh my goodness, I sure did. Johnson Morgan. Oh yeah, I'll correct that on the actual document as well.
That's fine.
And I
Thanks.
kind of knew that. I knew that too. Okay, all right. Thank you for that correction.
Sorry.
No. Thank you for that correction. Thank you, Ms. Loretta.
Sure.
Any other questions, please?
Mhm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Moved by Rudy,
Second.
second by Rovell. All right. We just poll the members on this. Rudy? I can't hear you, Rudy. Can you unmute?
Hello.
There we go. Now we can hear you.
How do you vote, Rudy?
I vote yes.
All right, Lois,
Yes.
Rovell,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Retta,
Yes.
who did I miss here?
I think just you.
Okay, I'll vote yes. Okay, all right. And the motion passes 6-0. Who, are we missing somebody?
No, you're 7.
Okay.
Oh, where's Valerie?
Oh,
Valerie,
wait, no,
there's
you're right.
Valerie,
You're right.
yes.
Where is Valerie? She accepted the meeting too.
Hmm.
I had
had emailed Valerie for something, I can't remember, and it said it went to her work account and said she wasn't going to be in, but that account was going to still be active. So I'm not sure.
Let's see if I can raise her.
And isn't
Okay.
today Monday? She has hard times on Mondays.
Well, let's see. Let me see if
I mean,
can
she's
raise
so
her.
diligent.
Yeah. Mhm. Let me see if I can raise her on the phone here.
If you want, Mr. Putnam, while you're doing that, I can go to the county report.
Yeah, go ahead and go start with your county report. Okay.
All right. EDA, this is my staff report. Our last meeting was early November, so the Quad County Business Summit was just about to happen, and that was on November 17th. Reliable Rides won the Quad Tank, so they took home $5,000. A very competitive Quad Tank, and we had 2 Fluvanna businesses in the finals. So was very excited about that, as was Scott Harris of Reliable Rides. So, and also the Quad County Business Summit went very well. I think we didn't get a huge number. You know, we were probably in the 70s throughout the day. But the good news is I think those 70 really got a lot of good information from it. And there was a lot of good communication, a lot of good chatter. You can go on to Quad County Business Summit, or sorry, QCBsummit.com, and you can watch any of the sessions. They were recorded. All but one were recorded and uploaded to the website. So hopefully this year we're able to host in person. So we'll see. For the business spotlight for January is Crossroads Gymnastics. They're located in the Zion Crossroads Industrial Park behind Red Rocker Candy. You can view them at crossroadsgymnastics.com or call 589-ROLL. They offer classes 4 and up for boys and girls. There's also cheer classes and cheer teams. And Crossroads Gymnastics appreciates all the support for the community. They've been a huge user and made sure to tell people that they've received the grant money, and the county received some thermometers that Crossroads Gymnastics had. They were very appreciative for that. And I believe also that they received a hand sanitizing station, if I remember correctly. So they've really appreciated the support that they've had from Fluvanna County, and very proud to be from Fluvanna. The Zion Crossroads Water and Sewer System update. The calendars have been mailed from Tenemac. So if you ordered a calendar, you should have received it recently. We are the May calendar, the May issue, picture rather. So it's pretty cool. We're also on the February one as well, because we were in the top for the popular vote. So you can check us out in a small picture in February or the big picture in May. And in my house, it's May all year long. So I hope you all, if you did order a calendar, I hope you are enjoying them. We had the job fair on January 20th that we mentioned previously. The event was at Silk City Printing. Both SCP and Spire Collective. Spire is located in the Starlight Business Park at Zion Crossroads. Both of them attended. There were about 25 to 30 people. However, Silk City had probably 10 people come prior to the event during the day. So they got a lot of applications. Right now, Silk City Printing has 40 employees, and their year one projections were 35. So we're definitely seeing a lot of employment at SCP, and they're expecting to hire a lot more in this coming year. So they're very happy, as was Spire, to get the type of response that they did from the job fair.
Question, Brian?
Yes, sir.
What kind of incentives did they receive that they were required to have a certain number of employees? I don't recall. I know we got something from the governor, right?
From the Commonwealth Opportunity Fund, COF. That was for their projections of doing $5.6 million worth of investment, and incentivizing the first 53 employees from the state. And the county's assisting with 100 employees.
They're tracking on all their metrics then?
Yes, we're working through the applications and finalizing that paperwork.
Great, thank you.
by the way, Valerie is just entered. So, all right, some EdTech updates. Let's get social. If you go to the Visit Fluvanna social media pages, that's on Instagram at Visit Fluvanna or Facebook, Visit Fluvanna County. We have a picture a day for 2021. The goal is to have 365 pictures of Fluvanna uploaded. So far, I haven't missed a day, so we're doing well. Here on the 11th day of the year. Residents are also encouraged to contribute photos for the compilation. You can submit photos by going to fromfluvanna.org, and then if you go to the bottom, there's a submit photo, and that'll take you to the county site for those submissions. And so far, the ones that I have not taken, this one of this little girl at the playground, I said never too cold for a day on the swing. And then this one was also from a resident. So we have a few others that have been submitted, and we'll be sprinkling those in as we go. And the whole goal of this, if you didn't see the write-up in the business corner of the Fluvanna Review, is, we're trying to find different ways to show Fluvanna County, and probably ways that we haven't thought of showing before. And if you have to do 365 of them, you're going to get creative and find some new ones. So we're excited about this, and it's also going to be great. So we have more marketing material for Fluvanna County.
Brian, are you looking for anything in particular?
No, not at all. We are going to be as creative as possible to get this. If you look right here, this was about the hand sanitizing stations. This one was at Orm Family Fitness. They had their sanitizing station right at the door with the sticker. Just trying to get interesting pictures. This one I actually took at my dad's house. I thought the sun coming through the trees was cool. Just something a little different. I like this one. This is the backside of the library. I think it looks really cool, especially with the sun coming through. So anything you have, feel free to submit it. If you go to fromfluvanna.org, all the way at the bottom of every page is submit a photo.
Our businesses of the month, could they submit a photo?
That'll be one way I will have a photo is this is our business spotlight. So we'll be doing that as well. All right, so I want to talk to you all about
the hardware. That's where that trail is going to be, the National Park Trail, right?
Say that one more time.
Okay, 3 down, 3 across, Virginia hardware.
The Hardware Wildlife Management area?
Is that where the trails are going to be?
There's no trails a part of that. That's an area that's controlled by.
It's going to be.
I don't think they're going to have any trails there because that's for hunting and fishing. Typically, you don't want people walking where you're going to be.
Talk about it in EdTech. That's where it's supposed to be.
We talked about. Someone asked if there were trails there, and the response was there are not.
Yeah, but that's where it's going to be.
No, that's Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources allows people to hunt there.
Right, and fish there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
So, all right.
The trails are going to be there, but on the James, as I understood it. But okay, we'll go on.
Not that I'm aware of. So, want to talk to you about the Fork Union property. If you recall, this is the property that Yay Wellness is interested in. The county owns or we're under contract on 130 acres. We've been calling it the Fork Union property. The county is under contract for about 25 acres. The rest the county already owns. The property was studied in 2019 by the Virginia Economic Development Partnership. That study showed that we are a tier 2 property. What does that mean? So if you have raw land, you're just raw land. Tier 1 means you have a site and you're interested in selling it. Tier 2 is it's controlled. That means you have a price ready to go for it. Essentially, you're a ready, willing, and able buyer. So we're viewed as a tier 2 site. The next phase would be to be a tier 3 site, which means it's zoned industrial and we've completed due diligence. And then once you move to tier 4 and tier 5, tier 4, you can get the project ready to go and completed within a year to a year and a half. That means you've completed all the engineering for it. And tier 5 means you've done groundwork. It might be a pad site, something like that. All the infrastructures to the building site. So right now this site is at a tier 2, but really we're more marketable when we're at a tier 4. Site development is incredibly important, and in the state of Virginia, in the Commonwealth, we've realized that we do not have enough sites that are ready for development, and there's a huge push across the Commonwealth to get more sites ready because we're seeing more activity for economic development projects and companies looking to come to the Commonwealth. To get from tier 2 to tier 3 would cost the county $111,360. Draper Aiden Associates, they studied the property as part of the 2019 study. They also provided the ground engineering for the fire training facility that's proposed there. And they also are a company that the county has a relationship with for engineering work. They could complete the studies to get us the studies that are required to get us to tier 3, but this would not be final engineering. We still would have to do, and that's tier 4 when you get to final engineering. This is the preliminary review. It kind of shows the property owner, which is the county, what the future costs would be. It removes all guesswork. And tier 4 takes that guesswork and actually starts implementing plans, and tier 5 is actually doing the plans. The items to be done that Draper Aiden has proposed, if you look all the way down till here, so the Threatened and Endangered Species Review, the Cultural Resources Review, the Waters of the U.S. Delineation, Phase 1, ESA, the Topo, Boundary, and Preliminary Geotech, that's all information that you need to do for any construction project regardless. So they would conduct all those studies. The next study is the preliminary engineering report, the PER. That would be, if you do what's in this PER, you become tier 4, essentially, is what that means. But that would give us an engineer's review to show us what we need to know to get to tier 4. The master plan development shows you how to lay out the land. And then rezoning assistance, 3 of the parcels need to be rezoned. And as part of that, we need to have a traffic impact analysis done. Most likely, VDOT will require that. So the reason why,
Ryan?
Yep.
Is part of this package a fair market value assessment after it gets to that tier 3 or not?
The county cannot, so when the county disposes of land, the county can't say, like, this is how much it is. We need to get offers. But a property is more valuable when you've done more of the work, obviously. So right now we know that property in Fluvanna that's industrial is assessed between $3,000 and $10,000 an acre. So
looking at how many acres there?
130.
Okay. So it looks like it'll be a return on investment for the county?
Well, the one thing about a county selling property, it's not like a landowner selling property, right? A landowner sells property, the only chance they have to make money off the property is when they sell it, where the county can sell it at cost and then make money off of taxes, taxable value and everything else.
But I sat in on the Board of Supervisors meeting and heard the pushback from a couple of the supervisors about the cost of this.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be nice to have something to kind of allay their fears and say, look, if we put this amount of money in, we can expect to see this amount of money back as a minimum.
Yeah, and unfortunately today I was getting ready for this meeting. That's what we'll be conducting this week, is just saying if we had 300,000 square foot buildings, and if each roughly speaking, each building would pay this much in taxes just off of the building and real estate. And then once you add in machinery and tools, if they have $1 million worth of machinery and tools, this is how much it would come. So we can kind of project out what that would look like. Of course, if you bring in a data center, they have a lot more heavy, expensive equipment. Or if you bring in, someone that doesn't have a lot of equipment, it kind of changes it. But at least we would know from a real estate perspective how much it costs. I mean, right now we know the county does not get any money off of this property because the county owns it. So even just someone paying the real estate would bring more money in than we currently getting off the property. But obviously we want to see it improved.
And is there anything in the master plan? I'm gonna, if you don't mind, if I can direct this to Eric Stahl. Is there anything in the master plan to set aside some of that parcel for a community park for the Fork Union area?
So that wasn't contemplated at this point. The original discussion was to try and utilize the acreage as more of a business park. So that was really the intent of going through and looking at this property and trying to transform it into something that can bring, more business into the Fork Union and southern part of the county.
I guess really it would come down to if the county would want to do something with the community center, that's where I would do more park stuff. Or if the county wants to make it completely business all the way through.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have something attached to the business park that the rest of the residents at this part of the county could use, especially since a part of it's going to stay in natural habitat as buffers and stuff anyway.
Yeah, it'll be a question of, what does the topo show? And kind of, I know Summit Business Park, which is in Franklin County, they've incorporated walking trails and such because it was more advantageous for the property, and businesses wanted that, right? They wanted their employees to have places to take breaks and such like that. So that might come up in the master plan. It's just kind of seeing how everything lays out. And we'll wait for Draper Aiden to be able to determine that.
Thank you.
Now, the reason why I bring this up is the EDA has $35,000 allocated to the Shovel Ready Sites program. I know there's a lot of new members of the EDA, and it was previously the microfinance and strategic funding program that was created in 2012 by the Board of Supervisors. The MOU between the EDA and the BOS says that the fund is to help businesses who fall short of assessing capital. That fund was never utilized. So in 2017, the board and the EDA redirected that fund to the Shovel Ready Sites program. So that's why you have the $35,000 that's never been used. The program is to help property owners in the Zion Crossroads area ready their land for development, essentially to complete the tasks that we're trying to do in Fork Union. The only caveat is that a private landowner can ask for a loan up to 50% of the work as long as you have money available. As you can see, $35,000, we're doing this and we've done a lot of work already. It doesn't complete 50%. This fund has never been utilized, and we've never received an application or any interest in the Shovel Ready Sites program. I think it's a great program. I think the county should be commended for having it, but we just don't have the property owners that are willing to go for it, and we don't have enough money in the fund to start. The Shovel Ready Sites, staff recommends that the Board of Supervisors and EDA utilize the $35,000 to make this Fork Union property a business park. It would help spur economic growth in the county. The issue with the Shovel Ready Sites program is this money can only be used for the Shovel Ready Sites program. If the EDA wanted to use it for something else, you don't have that power. And if you were to get rid of the fund, the money just automatically reverts back to the Board of Supervisors per the 2012 memo. So the BOS will decide to move forward with the study on January 20th. I wanted to bring this up to the EDA because our recommendation is that the EDA and the Board of Supervisors offset some of the costs by using the $35,000 that's been sitting in the bank account since 2012. So I don't know if Eric has anything he wants to add on that.
No, I mean, I think the main thing is for us to kind of get ahead and get some of the due diligence work done on the Fork Union property as a means to get economic development in the county. if there's a way to offset some of the current costs that the county has to put out to see this site, move forward, we would certainly think that would be a good thing to do and a good utilization of the 35,000, especially since the funds have been sitting idle for about 8 years now.
If I could address that, Curtis, do you mind if I take a couple of minutes?
Go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah. So part of this whole historical process, and this is mainly for the new members to understand, is that while we had this $35,000 set aside for a microfinance program, the EDA did a very lackluster job of actually promoting that. And we were in a different time than we are now. This board that's here right now is very much focused on leaning forward and actually being progressive and aggressive at getting the word out about opportunities for businesses. As you can see by a little bit later on, you'll see by how many applicants we had already for the CIC grant that we got from CACF. So there is a mechanism for us to go back to the Board of Supervisors and ask them to once again reclassify this money to open it back up for grants. However, I suspect, based on what I heard from the Board of Supervisors, is that in order for them to want to move forward with the staff's proposal, is they're going to want this money back. And I just think that that's really a slap in the face to the small businesses. And I'm saying this so that I go on record with this, so it's in the minutes. When we still have a number of businesses that could benefit from microloans, and we just have not done a good job as an organization. I'm talking the EDA now, has not done a good job as an organization getting the word out about those opportunities. And I would hate to see us lose the opportunity to do that. So that's my 2 cents worth there, Mr. Chair.
Yes. I'm fairly resistant to the idea of spending this money in this way. I think that the EDA could use the $35,000 for something else. Well, let's table that discussion till after the report, okay?
All right. Just give you some update on the CARES Act broadband projects. Nelson Cable has completed the project. Remember, originally it was supposed to be $60,000. We received the final invoice. It came to a total of $41,500. We've already paid. We've already done 2 payments of $15,000 each. So that's why Mr. Hudson has the final check for $11,500. They have 11 residents that have signed up. Remember, there were 45 residences that were eligible. So we have about a 25% take rate, which is probably, the going average for most of these projects. That's one thing to keep in mind about CVSI. CVSI has been having a higher take rate. That being said, they're going to more rural areas. This area is near Scottsville. So their internet might be, for some people, okay, but not great. At least Nelson Cable now gives them an option of having a much better internet connection. And they'll probably find more people will sign up as time goes on. They've already been able to connect 8 residents. The next 3 they'll be working on. And I think if they had a little bit more time, they've only had about a month, they'd get more people to sign up. So the EDA has final payments for this and will be sending to it, as Mr. Hudson has already alluded to. CVSI has completed their project. Remember, that project was originally $520,000. The project's still being closed out and we're waiting for final invoicing. The one thing that's difficult about CVSI is, they're buying large spools of fiber and not all of it's coming here. So they need to go through more accounting so that they can divvy up which one went to Fluvanna and which one didn't. But we've been in communication with them and we expect to have their final invoicing here in the coming weeks. And I'll communicate that out once we have the final information. Also wanted to let you know, again, more education for the new members of the EDA. In 2018, the county, EDA, and CVSI entered an agreement regarding the original project. That's to cover the entire county with fiber. CVSI has requested the cash payment of $375,000. That signals that the completion of the Zion Crossroads substation, that was a requirement for the cash payment, as it's detailed in the agreement. They've also completed the Henson Store substation as part of this. So we've gotten a little bit more bang for it. And it took a little bit longer than the original thought would be, but we have 562 residents being served, and they said the take rate is averaging about 40 to 50%. This portion of the project cost CVSI 10.7 million, with 6.2 million of it coming inside Fluvanna County. They've also hired more for their Firefly headquarters, which are in Troy, here on Salem Church Road. So that was another aspect of it. They were supposed to hire 10 people by 2024, and they've already hired, I think it was like 15 people by 2020. So we're ahead of schedule for that, which is great. More employment in the county. Just to note, the county's also agreed to pay CVSI up to $500,000 for additional taxes they pay. So basically, you take their current tax payment, and with this new construction cost, if their tax goes up, $100, they can ask the county, and the county will give them back the $10,000. So they first have to pay the taxes, and then the EDA will get the funds to pay CVSI back. So you'll see more CVSI payments in the future. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that. That the cash, we did receive notice that they were requesting the cash payment of $375,000. I think that's it. Any questions for me or Eric or Douglas? I think we're all on.
Brian, this is Ben. I have just one quick question regarding the business park that you showed in Fork Union.
Yep.
Are there other sites in the county that are looking at for business parks development as well, or just the one in Fork Union? Thank you.
The county does not own any additional land elsewhere. The only sizable land that we own is Pleasant Grove, and obviously we don't want that to be a business park. So no, this would be the only site that would be we'd be interested in advancing.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. And okay, we're through questions for Brian. We'll move on to the chair's report. And basically what I want to talk about right now is the program that we have from CICF, which I'm calling Fluvanna Forward, just to, so that we know what we're talking about. And it's $10,000. And we had a meeting with CIC to work out some of the details on that. We'll get into that later. I just want to let you know that we've had, I think, 5 people apply for the program, and they've signed up with CIC. We've got to take some action on that today. But other than that, I'm very happy about the progress that we've made with the broadband in the county, and we still have ways to go to get everything done with lacking the parts that are county that are served by Dominion. Okay, but that's all I have right now. And Lois has sent for the EdTech report, the minutes of the EdTech report. Was there anything you wanted to mention, Lois? You're muted.
As I mentioned, we were involved with the heart incident with my son-in-law. That was for one EdTech, and the other EdTech could not hear because one person unfortunately had covered their mic, and the other person sat way far back and could not hear. So Brian was kind enough to say that he was going to get the minutes. And since he heard better than I am appreciative of Brian's offer.
The December EdTech meeting was more, kind of a workshop of ideas of things to do. And one of the items that we're working on was celebration of Black History and what we're going to do for the February Black History Month. And we'll be discussing that tonight at EdTech after this meeting, which will include a recipe book of recipes from Black families in Fluvanna that kind of get passed down, and some really yummy treats from what I understand. So I'm looking forward to getting that recipe book, and we'll publish that. It'll be a free distribution online. And then also conversations. And I've worked with already discussed with Mr. Hudson earlier today of members that could kind of give us some Black History Month or things from the community. So we'll be rolling out some podcasts over the month of February.
Yeah, I had sent forward the November.
Mhm.
So if you want to read it.
Okay, did I send that out, Lois? Did we send
Yes.
that out to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, any questions on the EdTech report? Okay. Well, all right, we'll move into public comments. Are there any comments from the public?
Mr. Putnam, everyone that's on the meeting is either staff member or EDA member.
Okay, all right, be good. Then we'll close the public comments. We don't have any unfinished business to take care of from last meeting. All right, the first order of new business is the grant program, the Fast Forward program. And I sent out a sheet that we came up with after the meeting with CIC. It says the Fast Forward program. All right. And did you have that where you could pull it up, Ryan?
You're going to give me a moment to find it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick.
Okay. And but basically, I'll just run through it here. And we have $10,000. The suggestion is to sponsor 10 minority entrepreneurs at $800 each. So that would be $8,000 of it. We did have save back $1,000 for marketing if we need it, and another $1,000 for a contingency fund. The basic program that we've come up with is that the entrepreneurs will apply to CIC. If they get a grant through CIC, we pay the difference between the grant and what they would actually incur. They have to pay it up front, but we reimburse them after the successful completion of the program. And any money that left over up to $800 would be available for a micro grant to help them get their business going. But the CIC is a 16-week program that covers a lot of things that they need to know to get a successful business going. And so this is open to Fluvanna residents. It has to be located in, the business has to be located in Fluvanna. They have to apply for CIC scholarship funding, and they'll pay the initial cost of the program, and when we pick it up after the completion. And I've come up with a little application for it that basically just shows that where the business is and where they are located and things like that. All right. And so I think we've kind of launched this already. Okay. Is there any discussion on this?
Did we get that? Do we need to take a motion on this little contract thing? Is that what we're looking for?
I think that we should have a motion for them to accept the program as presented in the budget.
And is there an idea of what to do with the additional $2,000 from the grant?
If we don't use it for the marketing or contingency fund, I have no. I think I don't know. Perhaps the best thing to do would be roll it over into micro grants, if that's needed.
So Rebecca Haydock called me this weekend. She's got some ideas. She's going to come to the February meeting and do a presentation for us. I'm going to try and set something up for you, me and her to talk prior to that.
Okay.
She's got some ideas about some of the training that they offer and some of the grants that they're giving to small businesses as far as it relates to QuickBooks and QuickBooks training. That there may be some additional funding that we can put towards that, whether it comes out of our bulk funding that we already have that we just haven't been using very much of, or whether it's left over from the CACF grant. I think there's an opportunity for us to impact these businesses even more. And talking to Shannon, I believe that most of the businesses, of the first 5 businesses anyway that he put in for this, they will have some type of assistance from CIC. So our costs will not be the full scholarship amount. It'll be significantly less than that. Of course, we won't know until we see the approval, but he thinks that we may be in the $100 to $250 range for how much we have to come up with for each of those 5 candidates. So I just want to put that out there, that this may be another opportunity to use some of this CACF money to impact small businesses in the community.
Yeah. Well,
Can I just bring something up
yeah, Valerie.
before down this path? The grant specifically said we were going to be encouraging small businesses to take the CIC program. If we're now going to include the SBDC, we also need to open it up to other training opportunities. We can't just arbitrarily change what we intend to grant.
I'm sorry, Valerie, I thought that the grant was to provide education and tuition assistance to minority businesses. I thought it was pretty broad.
It was not that general. No, they would not have approved that.
Well, they will work with us if we need to.
I would suggest talking to PVCC before we go too far down the SBDC path. Just my prejudice there.
Oh, I see. So you're saying, to provide
because
broader.
PVCC offers QuickBooks too.
Offer some broader options to take classes.
Yeah.
Is that
So,
what you're saying?
Valerie, I can loop you into the meeting with Rebecca because it's more than just providing the training. They're also providing some cash incentives to lower the cost of their QuickBooks for the first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I would just be cautious about that. QuickBooks is not the the silver bullet.
Yeah. All right. Just for everybody that doesn't know, Rebecca Haydock is with the Small Business Development Center, and I've been talking with her about doing a follow-up with the folks that we run through the CIC program, to have her kind of give them some guidance and support after they go through the CIC program. And but I think it's probably a good idea if we have some money left over to be able to sponsor other educational opportunities.
All I'm saying is that the SBDC is a federally funded program. They should not be charging for their consulting services. And usually they're looking at a business that is 2 years old, 3 years old. So they're which is a little bit different than what CIC is doing.
Mhm.
Now, Rebecca is coming in with some different ideas, but she's very new.
Yeah.
And the metrics that she has to meet may not fit in with this whole plan. That's the whole beauty of CIC.
Mhm. Well, that's the
All I'm
thing
saying is that before we go too far down this path, that we take a look at what do we want to accomplish. My preference would be to continue. I'm not exactly sure why we would only be paying $150 for CIC.
Because there's some additional scholarship money that they apply first.
Do they
'Cause
have
they
to
have-
do that? Do they
Yes.
have to do that? Is that using up money that could be used for other startups?
I
It's
would say
money
we
that
want
they're-
them to do that because that allows us to sponsor more businesses.
Yeah. The
Well,
thing
if we
is,
want to
Valerie.
sponsor more businesses, but that's not SBDC's role.
All right, we're getting two different things here.
Yeah.
Okay, the scholarship money that CIC is providing was already paid for by a county contribution to CIC. So that's covered. We have no responsibility for that. We just be able to use that money. Or the applicants will be able to use that money to take the course. As far as I know, Rebecca is not charging for any services that she would provide afterwards. The only thing would be if they do need an outside course or something like that, we might be able to do some assistance with that, things that was going to help make that business successful.
What about something like paying their first year to be in the chamber, or there's so many other opportunities. I really don't want to limit it to QuickBooks by the SBDC.
Well, we're not limiting it for QuickBooks by any means.
And then that's also not in our grant application.
Well, the grant, as I understand it, and I can talk to Diamond about this and get a clarification on it, is that we can spend this money basically any way that is in the general thrust of what we put the application in for. And as long as we don't go, spending it for parties and stuff like that, I had thought about spending some of this money for to do some get-togethers with folks who were interested and drum up some interest in the program, and that would be all allowed. I can check with Diamond, see what we can do, because I think anything that promotes a minority business would qualify, basically.
I think we need to find out what the businesses need.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather give them some.
All I've suggested is that, or all I've informed you about, is that Rebecca's going to come and do a presentation. Nobody's made any decisions about anything. We're just gathering information at this point.
Yeah, if there's
that's not what I heard. I'm sorry if that was. I misunderstood them.
Yeah, if there are classes
that I think before we commit the funds, we need to have a plan.
Can I ask a
That's why
question?
we're asking her to come talk to us.
This is Loretta. Can I ask a question?
Yes, Laura.
Getting back to what Valerie was saying, have we talked to any of these small businesses to see exactly what classes they would like to take?
Not at this point.
Do we have any idea of what they need, or are we just thinking that's what they need? I guess is the question.
Well, the initial thrust was to get them into CIC. We haven't had a chance to discuss anything with the individual businesses, the other proprietors, or any of that yet. Part of this, what I envision here, is for us to work with them, especially for the first year, because that's the hardest part, is getting through that first year of a new business, and to kind of guide them through it, find out what they need, see what they need, and provide it. Yeah, I'm not setting any of this stuff in stone right this moment. because it's a little too early. We might end up, we have the funds allocated under this budget, and we can change this at a later time if we need to.
Can I address Loretta's question, Curtis?
Yes.
Yeah, so Loretta, what we have is we have two outside organizations that have already been talking to the local businesses in Fluvanna County about what their needs, wants, and desires are. One is CIC and the other is SBDC. So the counseling that SBDC does, they have numerous businesses within the county that they are already working with. And so they have a want list, if you will, I guess is the best way to describe it, of what those businesses have asked for as far as support that they're not able to provide. And CIC also has, through their mentorship program, they have a list of subjects that they're seeing over and over again that small businesses need help with. And the ones that rise to the top of that are inventory management and bookkeeping.
Accounting.
Those are the two biggest areas that both groups are seeing a need for.
Okay, I guess that's what I was getting at too, because by talking to some small business owners, I'm discovering too, especially the accounting portion, that they're struggling with that and taxes and bookkeeping and all that stuff. So I was just wondering
and that's what we saw as well, Retta, when we did the last couple of rounds of from Fluvanna grant money, that a number of businesses who would otherwise have qualified for grants were not able to qualify because they didn't have the proper record keeping in place.
Right. Okay. Now, does this money also, is it for nonprofits or is it just small businesses?
Question.
All right. I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Yeah, is this CIC, this program for Forward Fluvanna just for small businesses, or are they for nonprofit organizations who also, I'm discovering, don't have the adequate accounting? I'm just using.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's for small businesses. The grant is not, and the CIC program is not for nonprofits.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be strictly for business entrepreneurship, and that's our thrust through the EDA.
Okay. Okay, just trying to get some clarification. Thanks.
Okay. All right.
And just so the EDA is also aware, the Board of Supervisors in 2012 did put $35,000 in with CIC for loans. So once someone completes the program, they do have access to capital through the loan program available at CIC. And there are funds available waiting for distribution.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to accept the program as presented and the budget. Do we have a motion?
Where'd it go? I move that we go ahead and accept it as presented, with the caveat that if we need to, we will bring it back in front of this body to modify as circumstances change.
Okay. All right, is there a second?
I second.
All right, moved by Rudy and Loretta, seconded by Loretta. All right, Rudy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Lois?
Yes.
Ravel?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Retta?
Yes.
Valerie?
Yes.
Okay, passes 6-0, or 7-0. I'm sorry, vote yes. All right. Next order of business is the mission, vision, and values. I got together with a volunteer through Catch a Fire to go over the mission, vision, and values statements that we need to get in line before we do a strategic plan. And we'll be working on a strategic plan for the EDA. She did some research on other EDAs. She took into account all the suggestions that our members put in, and came up with some options for us. Brian, did you have those where you could pull them up?
I do, but I gotta get it. Sorry, I didn't link it, so I gotta find it.
Okay. And but basically, let's see here. Okay, I think I sent this to everybody. For far as the mission, we do have an official mission that's been approved by the Board of Supervisors. But I think this mission, vision, and values need to be revisited from time to time. And I don't think we need to adopt a formal new vision or mission, whatever. But this will be helpful for us when we go ahead and do our strategic plan. And so that everybody's on the same page for this. Okay, all right.
I'll get it. Just bear with me one moment.
Okay. And okay. I guess I could pull it up, I guess. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. The next page. And all right, here's the three options. Can you go back a page? No, I guess the vision comes first. Okay. All right.
Do you want to do mission first? I can do mission first.
Just let's do mission first, I think. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All right. All right. We have three options here that we can choose from, or we can modify them, or whatever we want to do with them. This is her suggestions, because we don't want to get, if we get too wordy with it and high flung, it doesn't really say much. So option one, sustain and grow our county's vibrant economy, quality of life by providing leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new businesses, recruitment, and community development. Option two, we help spur job creation in our community through business retention and expansion, business recruitment, and professional assistance. And option three, the mission of the Fluvanna County EDA is to facilitate business development, job creation, and success of our economy in our community. I'm open for discussion on these right now.
My preference is option one because it's inclusive of the quality of life, which is usually found in most mission statements of the other EDAs. And which is important if you're going to attract people.
Mm-hmm.
At first blush, Curtis, number one speaks to me a lot louder than number two and number three.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how they relate to the values and vision.
Okay.
How they all tie together.
All right. All right. All right. Well, we can go through that, and let's take a look at the value statements now. Oh, I'm sorry. The mission, the visions. We took the vision statements. Yeah. All right. Three options here: to be a key driver of economic development as a resource for existing new businesses, to create a community that is business friendly, where a quality, educated, and skilled workforce thrives, to make Fluvanna County flourish through innovative businesses and forward-thinking organizations by ensuring equal opportunity for all. And we can modify any of these or combine them if we need to. So it's not set in stone that we have to, pick one or the other. Is there any discussion here?
How you feeling, Lois? Which one's talking to you?
I was thinking what Curtis said about doing some pasting with the three options. The first one, what I enjoy about that is that it's a driver of economic development. Okay, good. Quality. The second one is qualified education, skilled workforce thrives, and businesses look for that. I mean, over and over again, because they don't want to put their business there if they don't have the workforce there to be able to make the business successful. And the third one is to forward thinking or by ensuring equal opportunity for all. The equal opportunity for all is extremely important.
Yes, and it's a good idea to have an initial vision. Those can change from time to time when our thrust of, if they become obsolete or we need to do something new. They're always good to revisit later on, and keep them current to what the board wants to do.
It appears that option one is like an overarching option. And by saying that it's a key driver of economic development. Okay, fine, good. That's nice overarching. The business-friendly qualified education and skilled workforce is part of that option one. And the innovative businesses and fourth, the 2 and 3 are a part of options of the key driver. It needs to be, like Curtis says, cut and pasted.
Yeah, I think if we took the let's see, key driver of economic development, take the first one and combine it with by ensuring equal opportunity for all, and add that in there to that option one. Is that what you're thinking? Something like that?
Can you go back, pretty please?
There we go, back there with division. Here we go.
I just want to be able to edit while you discuss.
Okay. All right.
It says to be a key driver of economic development by being a business friendly, having a quality, educated, and skilled workforce, and by creating an environment of innovative businesses and forward thinking while ensuring equal opportunity for all.
Hey, Curtis, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Can I ask our new members, excuse me, what do you feel is the vision? What do you see as, how do you want us to be remembered 10 years from now?
And Rudy, I guess my response to that is I kind of agree with Lois. I like to see equal opportunity throughout the county. So I think whatever vision statement we choose, I think somewhere needs to be ensuring equal opportunity throughout the county.
And this is Loretta. I agree with Roe. That needs to be in there also.
Okay.
I tend to think, this has been, I tend to think I think that the merger or the blend between 1 and 3 is sufficient, where it starts with to be a key driver of economic development. Oh, well, you changed a little bit. An existing.
Ben, can you get closer to your microphone so we can hear you better?
Yeah, I'm going to go and use my deep voice. So I was just merely saying that I think the for me, that I think a blend between option 1 and option 3. In fact, it's just a continuation, a key driver of economic development by resources and such for existing and new businesses to make Fluvanna County flourish through innovative businesses and forward-thinking organizations, and by ensuring equal opportunity for all. I think those,
I'm sorry.
it's just fine.
And then add in about, I think would be nice to have something about a culture of innovative businesses and forward-thinking organizations.
Correct.
Culture of.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see
I
what-
think all the right words are there. I just have to put it in one succinct piece.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, to be a key driver of economic development by being business friendly, where a quality educated skilled force thrives, ensuring equal opportunities resource for existing. Oh, okay, we'd have to modify that a little bit there.
I
mean,
put in the chat what our current, what's currently on the website.
Yeah,
And that's part of, that's into the Code of Virginia. So I just want to, I did that just to make sure we don't stray too far from that.
well,
Good
the basic, what we're adopting here is just a framework to do our strategic plan. Basically, it's not to redo that verbiage in the.
Right.
Valerie, could you read it, please?
To promote industry and develop trade in the area within its jurisdiction for the general good of the people of the area and of the Commonwealth of Virginia. So our mission is to promote industry and develop trade for Fluvanna, for the general good of the people in Fluvanna. I think number 3 probably closest to that.
Mhm.
Right, but this is the vision statement, Valerie, not the mission statement.
Yeah.
Brian, can you jump back to the mission statement for just a second?
Yep.
Mhm.
I didn't see a mission statement on the website. I just saw what's in the Code of Virginia.
Right. So if we take what Valerie's pulled out as what's in the code, can we can that be word crafted into option 1? So that we capture what the code requires, but then we also capture the fact that we want to see something equal and.
Yes. Well, see, the problem, we do have a vision, we do have a regular mission statement. And the problem with it is it's so broad and so overarching that we don't have any particular mission at all. And I would like to have this vision a little more focused, a little less verbiage, to give us just a general framework to fill out our strategic plan. So it doesn't have to be, well, I don't know. But what was that other, oh, that's it right there. Okay, to promote industry, develop trade in the area with this jurisdiction.
What's on the website is very legalese.
Yeah, it is legalese. Okay, well, since we're on the mission, see all right. As I understand it, the vision is to guide us for the future. That's how I understand it. The mission is to give us some focus on how we're going to do that vision, how we're going to get to that vision. Is that okay? All right.
Can we, Curtis, I'm going to suggest that we start with the values. 'Cause
Okay,
It's
let's go.
something that are real
let's go
easy
back
for
to
us
that.
to say, yes, we value this, and then we back it up into how are we going to achieve those values, and then the vision comes from that.
Okay, all right, we'll do that then. We'll go to values and take a look at those. These are just some different ones here, and I pretty much like them all.
So we value collaboration, we value equity, we value integrity,
Mm,
honesty, we value communication, we value innovation and creativity. We value achieving results for our community. I think we could probably put that in a more succinct way. And then we value partnership. I'm not sure how that differs from collaboration.
Yeah, on the communications piece, I think, so a couple of the other boards that I sit on have been really intentional about advocating as part of the value system, open, honest, and frank communication, so that we're able to, without retribution, state our concerns in a respectful manner,
okay.
but that everybody's voice is heard. I think that's really, really important, especially as we become more and more active in the community and more of a part of the economic development of the community. Being able to have those open discussions, I think, will only help drive us forward.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're running short on time here. May we table this to a later time?
Yes.
And
Can I just add something? Can we put equality in there somewhere under values? I know you have equity, but should it says equity and equality?
okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, Brett, I'm thinking the same thing. Can we do partnership and collaboration together? And what
All
Rudy
right.
said,
All
can
right,
we
I tell you what,
integrity,
let's,
honesty, and communication together?
yeah, let's table this for the time being. I'm think we'll take this to a committee and have this worked out. Maybe Retta and someone else can help.
I'll help Retta.
This out.
Okay.
Huh? You help Retta? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's do that. And we got some business parts to take care of here. Did we want to continue that the business corner?
I vote yes.
Okay, and that's how much are we putting in that every year? Do you remember, Rudy?
So you're doing, you and the county are doing 13 issues between the two of you. Have I got that right, Brian? We're doing every 2 weeks, so that's 26 issues a year.
Yes.
County and EDA are picking up half of that, and the chamber's picking up the other half. Is that the way we have it set up right now?
Correct. And my recommendation is that the EDA pays this in full this year, but.
Yeah.
But we've got the CICF grant. We put marketing money in that to cover this.
Yeah.
If we use it only for that, yes.
So Brian, you're saying your office doesn't want to play anymore?
No. I have it in my budget. When my bill comes this month or next month, I am paying my portion in full. Last time the EDA decided to pay it by month.
Oh, got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot easier on Ben.
It is a lot easier on Ben.
Yeah.
The Fluvanna boys basketball team is hosting Orange County.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Now, how much is it? That's the question. Yes.
So it's like $145 an ad. So if you're doing 7 ads a piece, whatever that math works out to.
Ben gets the bills. Ask him.
All right, there's 28.
It's just under 1,000. It's 980. It's nominally it's a little bit less than that, but it's just under 1,000. It's more than 900, but less than 1,000.
All right. Well, can we just say
that's perfect with the CACF grant?
Yeah, it's $942.50 a piece for you guys.
Okay. Well, let's
And then
just,
the chamber's picking up the other 13 issues so that we're running 26 times a year. I think
okay.
it has been extremely useful for the business community.
Okay.
We could feature the CIC graduates.
That's a good idea.
We can do anything we want.
Okay.
And we have. I mean, we've done
Yeah.
everything from, you know, doing the 365 pictures a year thing.
All right. All right. All right. We entertain a motion to continue the business corner, an amount not to exceed $1,000.
So move. I would add using funds from the CICF grant.
I'll second that. And do we need to add in there for Ben to pay it in advance, or can we just make the assumption that he'll pay it in advance?
Yeah, we just paid in advance. Yes.
Got it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Rudy,
Yes, yes.
Lois,
Yes.
Rovell, Ben,
Yes.
Retta,
Yes.
Valerie.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, passes 7-0. We're going to have to skip some of this in the middle here. Fundraising plan and introductions and the chamber report. I wanted to get to a confidentiality agreement between CIC. And I don't know, we need to sign a confidentiality agreement with CIC if all of us are going to be able to discuss what's going on with the people who are in the program. Now we can sign individual ones, I guess, but I'd rather be able to do this, I think, as a group. And I don't have that.
Curtis,
Yes.
I have a concern about signing it as a group.
Mhm.
One of us violates it, all of us are held responsible.
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
I've already signed one. It's a pretty straightforward non-disclosure.
Okay. So just your recommendation to leave it to individuals to sign it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and I signed, as I told you, Curtis, when you and I exchanged that email, I had already signed mine by the time you sent out that note.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. And then the only people who will be able to discuss them will be folks who have signed the confidentiality agreement.
Yeah. So if we have to go to closed session for that, we can go to closed session. We would have to anyway, because we're discussing individuals.
Yeah.
Folks, I hate to do this to you, but I have a 6:30 meeting that I'm running, so I'm going to bow out. Everybody have a great week, and I'll see you next month.
Okay. Thank you, Rudy.
And I'll see you the next time I see you, Valerie.
Tomorrow.
Okay. All right. The other order of business that I want to get to was to discuss the money in the shovel ready program. Now, as I understand the memorandum of understanding on this is that we have use of this money to do the purpose that it's intended for. I've been looking at this fund sitting there and not doing anything for a long time. And I would like to see the EDA be able to use this. It's basically half our assets to give away. And I don't really, I mean, as much as I appreciate the fact that the money would go towards a business park, and I know all of us would probably like to see something like that for the county. I just don't see spending the money right now. And I would like to see that $35,000 allocated for a different purpose that we can actually use. Is there any discussion?
can we do that, or does that have to be approved by the Board of Supervisors?
Anything other than what we have it approved for would have to be approved by the Board of Supervisors. And the EDA. But I don't know. Okay, we're getting on towards, is there any discussion on this, or are we just going to table this till another meeting? And then we'll go ahead and table this for another meeting, and we'll adjourn at this time, okay?
All right, thanks, EDA. We'll see you on February 8th.
Okay, February 8th is it, yeah.
Have a good night.
All right.
Night.
Good evening, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Right on.